in session. And when I say school, I mean pretty much everything that has to do with the community, because that's what you do. Captain on deck, everybody.
The captain is here, the newest captain at the Bay County Sheriff's Office, Captain Myron Guilford. Welcome to Behind the Star. It's a fourth episode of our podcast.
Yeah, it's about time you show up.
He's been avoiding us.
Yeah.
You've been dashing out the door. No, not
Not
me.
me.
And we got
I'll
him in
wait.
here because you do a lot. And we got a lot to pack in for the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got a lot of notes here. I don't know.
I know. Look at these lists
overwhelming.
he's got. Okay, community service. I think people probably by now realize that Sheriff Tommy Ford is all about serving the community. It's not just about keeping people safe, although of course we do that in every way we've ever done, but we also serve the community. Tell us how we're serving the community in ways people may not know.
We serve the community in many different ways and aspects at the Sheriff's Office here. We have numerous community events. I mean, we do Winterfest, we do Cops and Kids National Night Out, we do Project 25, we do Operation Thankful, we do backpack programs, we are movie nights, we are in the community giving service back to the citizens of Bay County that we serve, because that's our job, is to serve the citizens, just not to protect them, but to serve the citizens of Bay County.
And their needs.
Yes.
So Operation Thankful was feeding people at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we served about 2,000 families.
Yes.
And then Project 25, which is still ongoing just a little,
Yes.
but wrapping up. And at the last count, I think it was like 700 kids.
Yes.
Will have Christmas this year through that program.
Yeah, I bought a lot of Nerf guns that night, by the way. Kids love Nerf guns.
Why would
They're
I
the
know that?
best.
Totally you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun. Movie nights, though. Cookouts. I've seen you cooking. You
Yes.
can cook, I understand.
Yes, I've become the grill master.
Yes, you
and
are.
I also have my other two folks, Drake Whitman and Sean Searcy. Those are my two grillers. And Chad Harrell. They love to grill. I mean, that's their thing, is grilling and serving the community, passing out the food to and getting the feedback and interacting with the kids. Get the kids to come see law enforcement in a different aspect other than coming to your house
As real
and arresting
people.
them. Yes, we are people.
Exactly.
We are not in uniform.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we are just in our BDUs or we're in blue jeans.
With as many of these events that we do, obviously people would like to know about them. How do we make that public as far as the community events that we do?
We usually on our Facebook page. We usually have it announced through Bay District School Facebook page. So we try to get the word out as much as we can. If we have to hand out flyers,
I'm just trying to figure out if there's a cookout today, because I am starving. So
am I.
You're making him hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. Hot dogs,
But you
hamburgers.
also are over Junior Deputies and Explorers program,
Yes.
the chaplains,
Chaplains.
which people may not realize we have chaplains here,
Have 9.
and a lot of volunteers.
we have 9 chaplains that serve us here at the Bay County Sheriff's Office, which they do a tremendous job on helping us with deaths out in the field. They work with our officers. They come in
People
and
don't
pray.
know they respond to
They
scenes as
respond
well
to scenes
when
as
needed.
well. When needed, for families that need a chaplain
I-
in a time of bereavement or whatever.
I can't tell you, I've been to several death calls where a chaplain was needed and they responded right away. It was invaluable to have them on call like that.
Yeah, and along with our 3 volunteers that do house checks, and they volunteer to help put out flyers or help us when we do our community events as well. They are very much an asset, and we're taking applications for those also.
We need more volunteers.
We need more volunteers. We could always use volunteers at the Sheriff's
How
Office.
do they reach out? Can they email
They
somebody?
can email myself
Yeah.
here at the Sheriff's Office.
Myron.Guilford at BAYSO, BAYSO.org.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Very good.
you
Volunteers
oversee
needed.
all this, and that's it, right? Like, I mean, nothing else. Because that's enough, really.
No,
that's a lot.
That's simple. That was just a simple part of it. Then we have the community service other piece to that, where we have Deputy Lupica that he go out in the community and teaches classes about stop the bleed, women's safety, de-escalation, active shooter, survival, tech meds, church safety conference was our big thing. We did a big church safety conference on
I didn't
that.
even realize that you guys oversaw that, the
Yes.
community classes that you do, too. I didn't realize that was under you as well.
Yes.
Any group
Lord.
that wants to have
Have
him
him
come,
come.
all I got to do is email
Yeah.
him, mario.lupica at baso.org.
So
Yes.
that's
Get on the schedule.
It's like
Also, the award ceremony, our award ceremony, where we
That's
do our
an
awards.
internal. The internal. It's huge,
Huge.
right there.
Yeah.
For our
right there.
folks that we recognize in our office that have done an outstanding job throughout the year, just showing them that, hey, thank you for the job that you do every day. And we have a lot of community people and community leaders that come out to the event also.
That is amazing. Okay, and also because I've had people ask me about this, we have a lot of parents that watch the podcast and have actually reached out saying, "When are you going to talk about the school resource deputies?"
which
And
is something else that he oversees.
Yeah, if all that wasn't enough, this is huge, especially in today's world. It's on every parent's mind, the safety of their child
Yeah.
in school.
Safety and security of the students of Bay District Schools is our number one priority in community service. I say it's a passion. I love it. I've done it for years. I started as
were a school resource deputy.
deputy, and I've moved forward and came up through the ranks, and it's just a passion and a love that I have. And in partnership with Bay District Schools, we have built a nice, loving relationship that we know that safety is a part of helping educate our students of Bay District Schools.
I know they need that sense of security. When they go on campus, those kids have got to feel secure. They're not going to be able to learn. So they have to have that
We
sense.
want our school resource deputies to be there to mentor the kids. Of course, they go through some training. You know, we have basic law enforcement. Then we have the school resource officer training school where they learn how to be a school resource officer. Then we also have advanced SROs class, mental health, SROs responding to mental health, active shooter classes that they go to, because if an assailant comes on campus, our job is not to wait for the cavalry to come. Our job is to go neutralize the threat as soon as possible.
Y'all are the cavalry.
We are the cavalry,
Yeah.
and we're coming, and we want people to know, if you mess with our kids in our schools, we are going to take care of business.
A big word that you said was mentor, and I think that's something that needs to be brought up, because it's not just about enforcing the law and having a thumb over these kids. It's also about understanding them and gaining their trust, and having, us trust them and them trust us, and kind of working together. And I feel like the SROs that we have are a real asset to that.
Very much so. I highly selected. I'm very particular about the person that I put in the school that's a match for the school, the students, the community around there. You got to be involved. You just can't drive to the school, arrest the kids, and leave, and they never see you interact with them any other way. You got to be involved in the extracurricular activities, sporting events, baseball, princess ball, cheerleading dad, you name it. You are more like their parents for 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours a day. You know more about the kids most of the time than their parents. But it's good that they learn that law enforcement officers, we're not just there to put them in jail. We are there. They're like our kids. This is like our city within a city that we take care of day to day in and day out, and take care of things outside of the city and be involved in the community as well. So that's how the piece of the SRD work and intertwine with working in the community as far and working in the school system, because you get to know the kids, their family, where their background, are they homeless, do they live somewhere, and then you get to work with the staff and the administration at the school, as well as custodians. Don't leave the custodians out, because they are a big part of the schools too. They help out and they work with us as well. If they see things going on or see something happen, they let us know. I mentored 6 kids last year. I don't know how I did it, but every kid would say, "Yeah, Officer Myron's cool. Let's go ahead and get Officer Myron. You should get him as your mentor." To the point I had to say, "Look, I got a job I got to do too, guys. I can't mentor everybody's kids, but be a part of a mentoring program." And with our new superintendent that we have, he loves law enforcement and what we do in the school, and that's safety and security, and making sure that our kids in Bay County and the parents know that we are going to take care of their kids if they're at school.
I have 2 words for you, and then I'm going to let you talk about this, because I know we've had this discussion away from the podcast studio, and that is social media.
Social media is our enemy. Social media it destroys lives. It destroys our kids. It's almost like an addictive drug. So many things happen on social media because the students have the social media page for the parents that they're the good little child, and they have the bad boy and the bad girl page over here.
Wait, what? Hold on.
So you're saying kids
I got
will
two
have
daughters. Hold on one second.
the social media page that their parents can monitor what they're doing, but then they've got another one.
They have two.
That's often what's the case.
Often that's the case, that they have two social media pages. Kids
Wow.
don't fight normally anymore. They fight on social media. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Why are you having a social media fight, which spills over into everybody's a part of it, because everybody can see the fight that's going on, and it brews up until it becomes a conflict at the school, and the SRD and administrators has to get involved in it to get this stuff under control.
And you've had instances where you're trying to deal with someone who's acting out in a class, and they're on live social media on the phone that they have with them, and it's unknown at that moment to teachers, administrators, or the SRD until they finally realize when other kids are getting involved. The whole incident has been on social
We
media.
had to actually lock the school down to get it back under control because the kids were just off the chain. with
because they're
seeing
all a part of that incident, or they feel a part of it.
So social media is not our friends. Parents really need to monitor their kids' social media, or just be like me, don't have a social media. They should have a social media probably when they're 25, 30.
Maybe even older.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I've checked it 6 times already, so be
Phones
honest.
in the schools. We have a phone in every classroom in the school, so the excuse that you need to get a hold of your kid, that's what the front office is for. The call front office.
That's a good point.
Call the front office not to interrupt instructional time that's valuable for kids, because when kids are on phone, it's going to distract them from instructional time that they need to pursue their educational performance.
So,
Right.
so every year there's the challenges that you deal with every school year. This school year seems like things have been a little bit crazier than usual. And really, what's the message that you want to get across to parents about this year and how they kind of parent their kids?
Parents, be the parent at home. Tell your kids the difference between right and wrong. To respect each other, respect others, respect that you're going to the school to be educated. The teacher's job is to educate the kids. Our job is safety and security. Administration should run to make sure the campus is safe, secure, and to oversee what's going on the day-to-day activities. But the most important part is parents be their parent and not their friend. We have too many parents that are friends with their kids and not parenting, and then when they turn 17 and 16 years old and they start running the house, it's because you let them get away with it so long. Right. And now you're wanting law enforcement to intervene, and then when we intervene, everybody's saying law enforcement's the bad guy. We shouldn't be the bad guy. The bad guy should be a start at home, that you fear your parents, that you know that
A little healthy fear.
Yes, it's
would go a
never
long way.
alone. It's like when I was growing up, I knew I couldn't do anything wrong. If I did, whoever parent caught me doing something wrong, they could discipline me right then. I mean, there was no...
It was, you would get disciplined at school. You would get disciplined at home, and if the neighbors, found out, they'd be blah, 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 and letting you have it too at the same time.
And
So you got it all the way around.
So I've got a question that I just thought of as a parent, because you said kids have 2 different social medias. They got their good kid one and their bad kid one. I need to know the signs. The signs from kids at home. Are there any red flags that parents should pick up on when it comes to kids either possibly doing drugs, possibly acting out at school, possibly doing things that they shouldn't, but they're keeping from their parents?
Their isolation from their parents. They're constantly on their phone, social media, constant. They should be able to interact at home and have a relationship with you at home besides on their phones. You should monitor that. Kids isolating, staying in their rooms. We give kids everything in the world except the bond that we need as parents most of the time, because when we give them that cell phone and we give them that Facebook and that social media and all that stuff that happens, we totally say this is the people that can raise you, so they're getting all the bad information instead of getting some of the good at home and saying that's not acceptable, we don't need to do that. You don't need to monitor their social media and not allow kids to stay on social media all the time and isolate themselves from them.
And if they are sitting around watching TV and doing nothing, make sure it's a good role model, because Carl Winslow from Family Matters was my TV dad. So, I mean, he was great. I loved him. He was amazing.
Oh, was a good guy.
I'm telling you.
He really was.
Yeah, except for
now,
Steve.
Sometimes, unfortunately, a kid needs to be arrested. They've committed a crime. Do kids understand that even an offhanded comment that is interpreted as a threat against the safety of others at the school? I mean, it's not funny anymore. It's not something we can ignore. Do they understand how important and how it will affect the rest of their life if they get charged with a felony, let's say?
Some of the kids don't realize it until we get involved.
Yeah.
And parents need to talk to their kids about not making crazy comments or saying things that can cause a disruption in the school. Saying that you're going to come to school and do something the next day, no matter what it is, if it's going to cause a threat, we have to investigate. We got to get investigations involved. We got to come to your house. We got to search your home. We got to make sure the kids don't have access to weapons. This is not only going to interrupt your day, it's going to interrupt our day because we have to use all those manpower and hours to make sure this is not credible in order to make sure we can have a safe environment at school and your kid can be suspended from school up to expelled from school. So why it's not a chance to risk. Talk to your kids about what they say, what they post, how they interact, and what they say to someone in class.
I think the moral of the story for all of this is parenting. Parenting is crucial when it comes to, it starts at the home, ends at the home. That is definitely something we learned. We also learned that I should pick the next movie for movie night. And we also learned that I'm very hungry right now. So listen, we could talk to you for hours about this.
You must come back, Captain.
I will.
You have to, because you oversee so much, and thank you for everything that you oversee, because I didn't realize, I know Ruth didn't. She's like, you don't do anything. So, listen, let's hear him out first.
Time out.
So, Captain Guilford, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.